guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. Last week I uploaded a video where I reviewed some new concealers that were out on the market by both Tarte and Too Faced, and I will link that video somewhere around here. So if you're interested in checking out that review, go check out that video. But today I would like to do the same thing, but this time about some new highlighters. One of them happens to be by Tarte again. I guess Tarte has been kind of busy, and the other one is by Becca, who also has been recently busy releasing lots of new products. And so if you're interested in seeing my review on two of the new highlighters that have come out, then just keep watching. By the way, today I am wearing the new Urban Decay All-Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation in this fancy pretty little bottle. Review, anyone? Let me know down below and I'd be happy to share my thoughts on this foundation. Let me say my initial impressions and my first impressions are ooh-ee, as in ooh-ee.
Ooh-ee? Where did that come from? Ooh-ee. Ooh-ee, you're a geek.
So let me start with the highlighter by Tarte. It is part of their Amazonian Clay 12-hour line, and honestly, I'm not really sure their products last 12 hours. I'm not sure anything could last on my face 12 hours, but if that's what you want to call yourself, we will go with that and support that. The compact itself sells for $28, which is exactly the same price as the blush, as well as exactly the same size. I love the compact itself. It's pretty petite, meaning it's kind of thin, kind of travel friendly, fits in a lot of makeup bags, for example. Comes with a fabulous mirror, which we will just glimpse at very quickly before I blind you by the light. When I first got a glimpse of the pan, I kind of went, meh, because it kind of just looks very kind of sandy, almost like, you know, like the color of sand, like, which is kind of blah. There really isn't much going on with the color of sand. No one looks at the color of sand and goes, ooh, that's such a gorgeous color. It's called Exposed, and it was created in the honor of, or in the essence of, one of their very, very popular blushes, also the Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush. This is also in the color Exposed, except it's their blush. So we have the Exposed blush and the Exposed highlighter, which I am now exposing to you. Cheesy. The idea of the Exposed blush was that it was created in an effort to kind of complement any sort of skin tone. It would work on a majority of people. Of course, it won't work on absolutely everybody, but the goal and the intent was to get Exposed to be very common and pretty much kind of a go-to sort of blush, which I actually think it sort of is. I really, really like this blush. So now they come out with this highlighter, like I said, also called Exposed. And the description, Tarte's own word for this highlighter, is that it is universal, kind of like the blush was meant to be. Interestingly, even though I said when I first looked at the pan that it just kind of looked blah and it just kind of looked like sand, as it turns out, this highlighter is actually pretty complicated. It has kind of a combination of different shades and tones going on within one single highlighter. They would be, it's kind of golden, it has a hint of like silver, so it's not completely warm, it has this essence of a cool undertone to it, and then on top of it, it has sort of this peachy pink essence to it. And so there's a lot going on in a single compact that I initially thought was blah. The powder itself is kind of a creamy powder, which is one of those things that we like to call an oxymoron, which is awesome because we are legitimately allowed to call something a moron. An oxymoron, but a moron nonetheless. So by calling it a creamy powder, the best way for me to explain that is by applying your brush to the compact itself, to the powder. You do not actually get a lot of powder pickup. There are some powders and highlighters especially, based on the individual pigments and all that stuff that goes into making a highlighter. Sometimes you press your brush to the compact and like powder goes everywhere. Highlighter nonetheless, and so now you're glistening in places you were never meant to glisten. But because of the consistency of this powder, I can continuously keep pushing my brush up against it and powder is not actually going everywhere, which is actually very handy when it comes to being able to apply said powder. In being a creamy powder, you have a lot more control over how much powder you're actually picking up with your brush, which means you have a lot more control over how much powder you're actually applying to your cheekbones or anywhere else on your face you'd like to apply highlighter. And so because of that, I think that this highlighter is super user-friendly. You can give yourself a subtle glow, a subtle highlight without overglowing. You don't want to overglow sometimes. I mean, you know, some people, like I said before, like to be seen from down the street. I I am not one of those people. I am wearing it today, and I actually want to say that I applied quite a few layers, and I applied this highlighter quite a few times because I really wanted to see if it were buildable, and in fact it is. So if you go in with one layer, you are unmattifying your face. You might not be like a shimmering goddess or anything if you were only to apply one layer, but you can unmattify your face with a single layer, and then you can begin to build on it and bring a highlight to different areas of your face as you apply a little bit more product and a little bit more powder. Overall, I want to say that this particular highlighter is so pretty. Did you ever have somebody ever tell you, you're so pretty? I actually kind of think they're mocking you when they say that, but I am not mocking this highlighter. I think this highlighter is actually really, really good, especially for more mature skin or more textured skin or maybe acne prone skin where you don't want to highlight all of the imperfections that is on the surface of your skin, but you simply want to, like I said, kind of unmattify your skin and give it just a little bit of glow or a little bit more glow without overglow, depending on how many layers you apply. Was that complicated? That sounded complicated. So one of the first things that I like to do whenever I get kind of a non-drugstore item is I always go through my collection and I try to find a dupe because I like there to be options. I like to know that I don't have to spend in excess of $25 or whatever the case may be in order to get a good quality product. When I took home this Tarte highlighter in Exposed and went to find a somewhat dupe in my collection, I found nothing. Nothing. I do not have another highlighter like this. I would not say that my highlighter collection is massive, but it is not tiny. My bank account will vouch for the fact that my highlighter collection is not tiny, nor is it subtle. So just to give you a little bit of comparison, the Laura Geller Gilded Honey is way more gold. The same goes for the Anastasia Illuminators. This one is in So Hollywood. It is the kind of gold toned one, and it is way more gold than the Tarte Exposed. I thought that the Balm's Mary Luminizer was going to be kind of a hot contender to be a dupe, even though I knew that the Mary Luminizer was major, but they looked a little bit similar in the pan. No, Mary Luminizer, way more silver, way more intense, not subtle at all. This is like major overglow. Champagne Pop by Becca and Jaclyn Hill. This one, again, kind of has the multitude of different shades to it, which I was describing about the Tarte, how it has some gold and some silver and some peachy pink. This one kind of is the same as far as a description, but in reality, this one is much brighter and much peachier than the one by Tarte. So the closest thing that I could come to a dupe for the Tarte Exposed highlighter was actually a love child. What do I mean by that? I think that the Tarte Exposed is actually the love child between the MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter as well as Jaclyn Hill and Becca's Prosecco Pop. The Tarte sits somewhere just in the middle. The MAC Soft and Gentle has the same or a similar sort of tone to it, except the MAC Soft and Gentle has a little bit more glitter and a little bit more fleckiness to this particular highlighter. The one by Jaclyn Hill and Becca, Prosecco Pop, which has major reflective properties in and of the packaging itself, has the same level of shimmeriness and reflectiveness. However, it is definitely much, much warmer than the one by Tarte. But if the one by MAC and Becca were to have a child, their love child would be Tarte Exposed. So all in all, this highlighter by Tarte is unique and different and unlike any others. It's a really good price. It's easy to use. It doesn't make a mess. Has no fleckiness or glitterness to it. I have nothing bad to say about this highlighter except if you really wanted to get your glow on, this guy's not gonna do it. You need to talk to Mary or Becca or Mac or someone else. The other highlighter that I want to talk about is by Becca. It is called the Shimmering Skin Perfector, like all of their highlighters are, but this is what they call the Slim Light, which means it comes in a pretty little pencil. It also sells for $28. However, you get much less product than you do with the Tarte Exposed highlighter, which also was $28. This particular highlighter, unlike the one by Tarte, comes in 3 different shades. There's Pearl, which is kind of a silvery white sort of highlight. There's Topaz, which is kind of a burnt golden shade, which is actually very, very pretty. And then there was Champagne Pop, which you all know about. I love to pieces in the compact, and I thought, well, if I love it in the compact so much, surely I'm going to love it in the pencil, right? And for the most part I do, but I've got a couple of comments about it. So like I said, this is actually a creamy twist up pencil, which means you never have to sharpen it. So by comparison, the Champagne Pop creamy pencil, and compared to the one that's in the compact, this one actually is a little bit more silver. I feel like the one in the compact is a little bit more peachy. And this guy is just, has a hair more white in it. So less of the peachy pink and more of the white gold. You can't expect that they'll be exactly the same. No, I kind of expect that they would be exactly the same. If you're going to give it the same name, it should look exactly the same, but just be a different consistency. I don't know. I have no idea about makeup design or creation, so that might not actually even be possible, but I want it to be possible. So Becca indicates that you can use this pencil to get to the finer points on your face that you cannot get to with a larger brush. That kind of made me flinch for a second because I'm like, well, if I can't get to those places with a larger brush, why couldn't I just use a smaller brush? That is me being very nitpicky, but I thought I don't have to use Champagne Pop in the compact only with a large brush. In fact, I could use a teeny tiny little brush and put it wherever I like. But okay, you came out with this creamy based formula in a stick, so what can I do with it? Well, Becca indicates that you can use it for all of the finer points on your face. Down the bridge of your nose, your cupid's bow, the inner corner of your eye. They talk about using it on top of your eyebrow. I suppose. Maybe I missed the memo about how we can put a highlighter on top of our eyebrow, but I personally, in my entire lifetime, have never done that. So, all of that being said, and all of that nitpicking that it appears I was doing, well, I'm like, it's $28, so you better be worth my $28. I find that it works amazing in the inner corner of your eye. It makes it easy to apply, it's very long wearing, the shade in and of itself, even though it doesn't compare exactly to the compact, is gorgeous. I wanted to be able to use that underneath my brow, not on top of my brow, but underneath my brow, and I find that I actually can't do it. The end of the stick is actually just too chubby, and I wind up highlighting my eyebrows, which is never a good look. So I had high hopes for this Slim Light being able to do that, and I really was disappointed. Do I think it's a little bit more long wearing? Well, cream-based products typically are. Is it $28 more long wearing? Probably not. But that's okay, because I get my Champagne Pop fix in the compact and I'm very happy with it there. And if I chose to put it in a number of different tiny places, I would just grab a smaller brush. I am, however, continuing to use it as an inner corner highlight because I think it performs exceptionally well right there. So those are my thoughts on some new highlighters that are out there. I hope that helped you make a decision. Thank you again so much for watching. I am on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter, so if you have a minute, check me out over there. If you like this video, then hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not already a subscriber, then please subscribe. Leave me a comment down below on your thoughts on these highlighters, or maybe your favorite highlighter, and also if you want me to do a review on that new Urban Decay All-Nighter Foundation, talk to me downstairs, and leave me a comment down below. I hope you have a really good rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, thanks.
Like so. Beep, 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 beep. You don't... Why did I have to make the sound effect? When have you ever touched a compact and it made noise? Anyway, leave me a comment down below what your thoughts are these on DDDD. Last week I uploaded a video where I reviewed some new concealers that were out on the market. Out on the market.